want to talk to you about is being prepared. How many of you feel that you are truly prepared for either a man-made or a natural disaster? Make provisions for your pets too. Have some way to care for them and take them if you can, because some people's pets are their very closest companion. Now we're getting to something that everybody will do differently, but I keep a kit that keeps me, I think, prepared for an emergency. Like to have with them, even a little makeup, but I keep this all the time ready. One reason is one time my husband had to come to Atlanta, and he told me to be ready at noon with lunch, and we were leaving immediately, that he had a meeting in Atlanta. I dawdled around and wasn't ready, and he left me. So after that, I had some clothes hanging in the closet, and my kit ready, and he said, go, we went. Cash money with you a little bit and hide it in your other things. It's always good to have a little Red Cross emergency kit with you, because you may cut your finger, do something that have a need for a little first aid. I carry this. It has little items that you would need, and if you've got availability to water, just for your personal hygiene, a washcloth, towel, soap, hand cleanser, handy wipes. I keep these with me. This little kit has some little emergency tools, little screwdriver, knife, bottle opener, things like that, because you're going to need those things. You get it like stranded on the highways, which the people did 3 years ago, or in a situation where you don't have available any of the things that you need. Now this is stretching it a little bit, but I carry a little can of Sterno because I like hot coffee. But you can also buy coffee that you can drink the way it is in the bottle, because without coffee I'm not a pleasant person in the morning. The Sterno, it lasts for 2 hours and you can heat stuff on it, so I keep a little can of it. For bad weather, this is my cowgirl hat, which will cover my head in the rain. This is a little hat that will keep my ears warm this way and the rain out this way. I try to be a little bit prepared. You can make up your own kits and do better than I have. An old standby, a poncho. You have to get out in the pouring rain. It's nice to have a poncho, and I carry a little because I work the shelters in a disaster. I keep a pair of those little rubber rain boots in my car all the time. Paper towels and other paper goods, tissues, Kleenex, that type of thing. Flashlight, be sure it works. Nothing more frustrating than have a flashlight and nothing happens. And I also have some nails. You'd be surprised how often you need a screwdriver or a little hammer. And it's good to have, and it's not heavy. I can...
You break your glass out if you go underwater with it.
Yes. Yes, you can. And this is just a little insulated bag for items that I might need when I'm out like that and don't have any way to get it. It'll keep things cool, and be sure that you have some. How many of you take medications? Be sure you have a little bag, maybe that's insulated, that you have some of your extra medicine. And some of this you can keep in the house. and if you need it, take with you as you get out. But some of it you can leave in the car, and it's always there. I think I mentioned this. And I always carry a garbage bag. I carry small ones and large. Now, let's talk a little bit about some things that you can have handy, and I try to keep these in the house unless I'm going out on the road and the weather is bad. You might expect a bad situation. Juice, crackers, peanut butter. I love peanut butter. Little snacks, they stay fresh a long time, and you can have those, and you won't, you know, I think the worst thing in the world would be to starve to death. I love to eat, so I keep snacks. Tea, this will keep a long time. You can drink it as it is, or you can look up on some ice, or you can even heat it on your can of sterno, but don't heat it in the can. I have a little boil, I didn't bring it, not that big, and a little frying pan. So I can always have something hot if I need to. How many of you have tried these? This is a little tuna snack. It'll keep a long time. In it, it has tuna, mayonnaise, crackers, and I can't read what else. But I have eaten them, and they're good. And you can keep these just a long time. So tuna, cereal, you can eat this dry, or if you just have to have milk, have a little water in some evaporated milk. I keep a little can. I don't have one right now. I had to use it. But a little can of milk with water will put milk on your cereal. Most of them have enough sugar anyway. So carry a couple of these. Deviled ham. I'm not crazy about it, but it will make a nice sandwich if you're hungry. When you go through a drive-in, they always give you these and you never use them. I keep them, and I keep them in my kit because if you came on a bad situation, you'd have your cutlery, so to speak, and napkins. Some fruit. We always need fruit whether we're stranded or not, and you eat these out of the little containers. If you feel a little energy need, Gatorade really helps me. I don't know how many of you drink it, but it does help. One big thing, carry enough water for at least 2 days. You can carry it in the little cartons like this. You can carry those quart size, or you can carry the gallons, whichever suits you, but have enough water. Handy, always. When I was a little girl, these were an afternoon snack. Vienna sausage and crackers still would help you out in a stranded situation. I think I mentioned tuna. I have some canned and get the cans that you can open without the can openers. Cheeses, I love cheeses. You can carry those. And a little something sweet, cookies. So, you know, if you were stranded with me for a couple of days, we wouldn't be hungry. These are just a few things that I wanted to remind you of. They're not hard to do, to go to the grocery store. And when you do pick up an extra can of something, you put it in your kit. And keep the kit as I say, I keep mine in the house unless I'm going on the road and the weather seems very threatening, snow, ice, heavy rains, things that might make you stranded. But promise me you'll all fix yourselves a little kit, will you? And another thing that I wanted to mention to you is how many of you walk or run. I don't run as well as I did at 92, but I do walk sometimes. Never walk alone. Get you a walking buddy. Be aware of what's around you when you're walking. Don't take shortcuts. Don't take the same path every time. Vary it and do it differently. But have you someone with you, have your cell phone with you, have your ID with you, and be alert about what's happening around you. Up where I live, right near Christian City, a man was cutting the edging around his place. A man pulled up and stole the edger. So be aware of what's happening around you and be alert. And when you're out and about, try not to overtire yourselves and keep a walking buddy or someone who's aware of what you're doing. That's just one little thing. I mentioned to you about cell phones. There are a number of things you can do. If your cell phone goes out, there's an international number you can call. Any of you who would like a copy of this, I'll send it to you or bring them to church. But there are a lot of things you can do with your cell phone. Be sure to keep them charged. And most of all, I always carry a little devotional book or a little Bible. Jesus Calling is one of my favorites. I bet some of you have that. And to have a copy of that in your car, not only something to read, but something that's comforting in trying times. I think the secret of it all is to keep God with you. Wherever you go, you'll never be alone. Thank you for letting me talk with you this morning. I hope I haven't bored you, that I may have given you some little idea of something you can do to be a safer you, because you've all become important to me, and I want you to be safe. This pen, I retired from the, you don't want to hear about me, but I'll tell you a little bit. I retired from the State Red Cross Board last May, and they honored me by naming the Volunteer Awards Program the Elsie Hand Volunteer Service Award. And they gave me this pin for 55 years of volunteering. I started the Red Cross chapter in Pellam, Georgia in 1963. And over the years, I've served in a number of capacities. I volunteered. I was the person for Georgia who would contact military people for several years. I did that, contact them in the event their families had an emergency. I was the one that would contact the service and get those people home for funerals and other emergencies in the family. I enjoyed doing that because I brought people together that needed to be together. When Homestead was hit by Hurricane Andrew, and you remember it flattened Homestead, there were no structures left, it was just a flat surface. I went down to Homestead, I worked in the telephone bank there, and I worked in the warehouses, clothing, food, and that kind of. I couldn't do that at my age now because the warehouses had no air conditioning and all. But I can still do other things. I can help with the phones, and I can work the disaster shelters. I can register people and things like that. But I've had to draw back on the physical part of my service. When Katrina hit in New Orleans, I worked in the main headquarters in Atlanta, the telephone bank, and that was something to see. People were flooding into Atlanta, nowhere to go. Some of them still had on night clothes. They had to leave in such a hurry, and they had a big lawn in front of the headquarters out on Monroe Drive then. They've since built a big building there. But I looked out from where I was working with the phone bank, and the ground, you couldn't see the grass for people out there with nowhere to go, no food, no, as the kids say, no nothing. They just had nothing. And we had to try to put those people in shelters. We had them in motels. Every motel in the metro area, we filled it up with people who had no place to go. We had to feed them. We had the big auditorium set up with food. And that was really, I thought, a meaningful service. And then in the recent times, I have worked, our headquarters are in LaGrange. And I've worked when we had the more recent hurricanes and things. We send big tractor trailers with food and help, water, a lot of water, to the places. So I've helped with that and helped in the office. And I want to continue to do it. But in this past year, I've drawn back from a lot of my, as I said, I went off the state board because the back and forth to LaGrange a couple of times a week got a little heavy for me physically. But I still have enough strength and energy to do what I can, and I want to continue to help as long as I can. But thank you for letting me talk with you this morning. Have I given any of you a little idea that you might not have had before? I hope so. God bless you.